What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Conversation, a Crosspoint City Young Adults podcast created to help young adults know and follow Jesus. My name is Darian.
I'm just going to right there. Okay, perfect.
Okay, Carlos didn't like my mic.
I'm sorry. What up? I'm Carlos.
I'm Ansley.
And we are talking about dating. So we've been talking about dating the last couple episodes. And just to give you a recap, we said to date well, Jesus has to be king. You have to understand your royalty, and you have to live surrendered lives. And
That's right.
that will make you date with purpose. And this is the episode that we're going to talk about. To date well, you have to date with a purpose. Okay? Are you guys ready?
We're going to get real.
We're going to get real. Ansley is fired up, and she's ready to go. All right. So the first question is, what do you think is the biggest difference between just dating for fun and dating with purpose? What do you think?
Sex.
Golly.
Sex? That is the biggest difference?
Dating for fun, I feel like is
Well,
literally...
Probably.
That's what I'm saying. If you're dating for fun, you're like, ooh, I'm having a good time. You know, I don't know. That's just what I think.
Dating
Or
for
'cause
fun,
you're
though, could
lonely.
be somebody like thinking, oh, I want to date the cutest person. Like they're following their desires
They're cute for a reason.
rather than being led by the Spirit.
Yeah. I just think worldly dating is very lustful at times or self-serving. Like whether it's because you're afraid to be alone or for financial gain. I don't know. Whatever the reasons are, I feel like it can be oftentimes self-serving.
Following
Yeah.
their feelings.
Well, I was going to say dating for fun is, I say, always selfish.
Yeah.
You know? I had two, like, illustrations that I didn't use in the sermon. But the first one is, like, it's like going to the store and just wasting time.
Yes.
You know, you're just trying to figure out what you want, and you're just going there because you ain't had nothing but other, like, anything else good to do.
And you
during
didn't
that
even
time.
bring money with
Yeah,
you.
you didn't bring money. You have no intentions in buying anything, and you're just kind of like looking around, and you're just wasting time. Or dating with a purpose is like going to the store, knowing exactly what you want, going in, getting what you need, and leaving.
I feel like some people are a mixture of both.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you use the illustration to the extreme, I get what you're saying. But the other illustration I was going to use was like, it's like two people going on a trip. One person knows exactly where they want to go. And so whenever they, go make the wrong turn or anything, they can check back to the GPS because they know exactly where they're going. Another person, though, is they embark on the same journey, but instead everything catches their eye. They stop, they hang out, and what started off as fun becomes really awkward. It becomes very draining, and it becomes very exhausting. Like it just all these things. But dating with purpose allows you to get somewhere. And I just think that there's a big difference. So, yeah, I would say, like, sex is a part of it, but I think a lot of people just want a Friday night hangout. They don't want to be lonely. That's why they're dating. But also, like, sometimes I think that dating is the goal. Like, I don't think marriage is the goal anymore in our society.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, who are you dating? Like, that's the big thing. Especially look at all the celebrities that we see. They're in and out of marriages, in and out of relationships every 10 days,
Yeah.
And so I think there's huge differences between dating for fun and dating with purpose, And I think the biggest thing that I think we all kind of said is that one is selfish and one is selfless.
Yeah.
Right? One guards the other person's heart too while guarding theirs, and the other one's just worrying about what they want,
Yeah. And like you said, one's looking for marriage and one's just looking to date.
Yeah. And so, how would you encourage somebody who's dating for fun right now? What would you tell that person? Encourage them not to do that, by the way. Not dating for fun. What would you say?
You go, because I'm formulating some ideas.
The grocery store example, in that example, the person is wasting their own time and the grocery store time. So
them grocery store clerks are ticks.
Yeah.
you're taking up space, whatever. And so in the same way, when you date just for fun, you are wasting not only your time, but the other person's time, who is probably looking for marriage. Or should be, at least.
Yeah.
I would probably ask them, first I'd be like, why? Like, why are you dating for fun? Like, what? I think that would be the first thing. I would want to know the why. And then, because I feel like there's a deeper heart issue. When you're just dating for fun, I just feel like there's a deeper heart issue, and I would try to unpack.
I mean,
Not like counsel, like therapy session, but I would kind of want to bring it back to how are you in Jesus? Because
Yeah.
I feel like the way you date can be reflective of that.
yeah, I mean, there could be so many factors.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are scared of marriage because they've seen their parents divorce or people that they've cared about a lot.
Yeah.
And there's just so many things. Like, I think, and also we can keep going back to this answer. I just don't think people have taught us how to date.
Yeah.
You know, like, just think back. Has anybody ever sat you down like, hey, this is the way you need to date? Like, these are the best ways to
Well, they gave their opinions. I don't know if they matches what the Lord said,
Yeah.
but they definitely gave
See,
their own
I didn't get a
opinions.
lot. I got some bad dating advice, and that's the bulk of it. But
I
no one
mean-
ever sat me down and said, "Hey, this is what you need to do." Most of my
Yeah.
stuff was from rom-coms, and you know, like
Not the rom-coms.
What were the things before Reels?
Vine.
Vines.
Vine, yeah.
You know, we
just
get
dated ourselves.
we get our advice from like Instagram and
YouTube.
Facebook and TV, and it's just
Google.
bad.
Trust Google.
Yeah, trust Google. But yeah, I would say it's hard. Like, I get frustrated with people, but then I realize like they just weren't taught, so I can't get mad at you. Like,
Yeah.
like they didn't know that this is not what dating's for. Like, this isn't try out to see if you guys are good. Dating is for evaluation,
Yeah.
not so you can test drive or whatever they say. You know, like.
Yeah, and I guess I'm still kind of brewing and chewing on what you're saying. But the logical side of me is just kind of like, okay, if you're dating, because a lot of times after dating, in a worldly perspective, I'm going from worldview right now. You're dating, you eventually move in. Y'all are already having sex probably before you move in. You're probably sharing some bills and all that stuff. So I'm just kind of like, why is it really that different? Because it's still going to hurt just as much. I mean, it may hurt a little bit more if you're married because you made an actual vow. But at the end of the day,
What hurt? What's hurt?
Yeah. What do you
like
mean?
if the relationship comes to an end, like the hurt is still a potential, whether you're dating or married. The person to still wrong you is a potential, whether you're dating or married. So I guess it really is, to tie into what you said, Carlos, it really is just a lack of understanding
I mean, I think it is.
between dating and marriage. I think some people are like, oh, it's just a piece of paper. I don't need a piece of paper to get married. But it's like,
I just think people don't understand it.
yeah.
You know, when I was like, I want to say 17, 18, my goal was to date and then to move in. I don't even know if marriage was like on my radar. Like my like goal was like, hey, I just want to move in with
But
you and do all these things and whatnot.
If you're living together and sleeping together, having kids together, you're
You-
playing marriage.
Yeah,
like,
you're playing
you know?
the benefits of marriage without being married. You know, you're trying to get all those things. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we can't get mad at the world for dating the way they date because no one has ever taught them another way. And that's where like my heart just breaks. It's like, yeah, no one has sat down and said, hey, this isn't working. This isn't good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. When I read Ben Stewart's Single, Dating, Engaged, Married, that was the first time I ever heard that dating is for evaluation.
Yeah.
You know, and that book came out like a couple, I don't know how many years ago, but not a decade ago. It's been a minute, but it's still. And I was like, man, that's the first time I've ever heard that. Now I've heard people like, hey, dating is when you're looking, if the person's a right fit and whatnot. But to have a tangible definition of like dating is for evaluation, and to see for the purpose of marriage, and dating for fun is not going to work for you. And it's not going to work for the person, for that person, because it's at the end of the day, like casual dating will always lead to hurt.
Yeah.
And
what we're not saying is after the first date, y'all should make plans to walk down the aisle together. It's not that pressured of like, all right, start talking about your wedding plans, even though this is y'all's second date.
Yeah, some people do that.
It's different than the casual dating. Casual dating just has no purpose in mind.
I think dating with purpose has good markers. Like you're really trying to figure out, like, is this person a good fit? Do they believe in Jesus? Are they following Jesus? Do I see the fruit of Jesus, in their life? And it's just, this evaluation. You're examining this person. Like that's the point of dating. Like dating for fun is you don't even care.
Yeah.
You don't care you don't care like what their aspirations are, if they're
How they
how
treat
they treat you. You're just here because you needed somebody to hang out with.
You
Friday
need a
night,
friend.
Yeah.
And y'all been doing it long enough, so y'all just say you're dating.
That's
Well,
that's the worst.
I have a question too, and I could be getting super philosophical, so you guys can let me know if I'm going off the wagon. But I'm curious, too, because there's a difference between, I think, dating, like just going on dates, versus I'm moving in with this person, I'm sleeping with this person, I'm having kids with this person, but we just aren't legally married. So I guess the first thing is, what kind of stage are you at? You know what I mean? Like, are you just taking people on dates playfully, or are you relationship hopping and like serious relationship playfully hopping? And then my follow-up question would be, if you're a follower of Jesus, even though you don't consider that marriage, and in God's eyes, is he, because, and we'll probably talk about this a little bit more when it comes to like sex and dating and like sex and marriage. And I don't know, does it make sense what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think yours is totally the extreme.
Okay. I don't know, my mind is just,
but I get what you're saying. I'm thinking of more like casual. Like, I
Okay.
think there are people out there that are dating for fun, regardless, and they might say like, "Hey, I want to get married one day," but right now, like, they don't have really intentions, and that's kind of like the second question. It's like they don't have set clear goals and
Yeah.
intentions in their dating life. Like,
that's messy.
yeah,
That's
like
real
when
messy.
you don't have a goal, and when I say goal, it's not like, hey, I want to date 10 times, go on 10 dates before I hit this marker. No, I mean, my goal in dating was to honor God. That's the goal I'm talking about. And then your intentions is to honor the person and to guard their heart, right?
Yeah.
And your
Yeah.
intentions are to be honest and open with that person. If you feel like there's anything going on that's saying, hey, I don't think this is going to get to marriage, that you are open and honest about it. You know what I'm saying? And so
You're
I
not
think,
settling.
yeah. And without it feeling awkward and forced, that means that both of you have to be on the same page.
Yeah.
I think when me and Carol were dating, we kept checking in with each other. I think they call it like determine the relationship, so like a
DTR.
Define
Have the
the
DTR.
relationship.
define the relationship. And we just always had those conversations. Hey, do you feel like this is going to marriage? Hey, do you feel like this is going good? Hey, and every time we checked in, it was like, yeah, I think this is going in the right direction. Yeah, I think we're moving on here. And it just allowed us to have a clear goal. Like, hey, we know we're not wasting each other's time, because
Yeah.
we were a little older. Like, I was already pushing 28. She was 20. She was 24, 25. And so, like, we were just older, and we didn't want to waste time. Like, we
Yeah.
were tired of that. And dating for fun will always waste your time.
Yeah.
Like, there's like, I 100% like can tell you it'll waste your time every time.
I know girls who I've had conversations with, and they're like, yeah, I know he's not the one. I know this isn't right. I know that I'm settling, but we've already been together for 2 years. So we might as well just keep going. Like, I've already spent this much time in it. Let's just continue.
But why? Like, I just,
That is
Why?
the epitome of what we're talking about, of how you should not casual date.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
it makes me
What are you
sad.
doing?
It makes me so sad that people are afraid.
It's
like
the
they-
enemy.
Yeah, like they would rather be in yeah, I feel like I'm going to go down a rabbit trail. That just makes me sad.
It's that I was that girl, actually. I remember being 2 years in and the enemy being in my ear and saying, well, 2 years of your life just wasted. And so, yeah, it's a lie
Yeah.
to keep you in it.
And we feel this pressure to try to make it work. And I don't think you need to feel pressure to do that. Like, if you're wasting time, like,
And the enemy will say, you're asking too much. That's,
Nah,
or the enemy or the person you're with is like, well, everybody's having sex. Like, you're the only person who doesn't want to. Those are lies. And there is a person out there who can uphold the standards that you
Yep.
have.
Yep. I mean, you can't listen to the enemy. And I think the more you spend in those relationships where have no purpose and no intentions and all this stuff, like, it's easier for the enemy to lie to you, because you're going to be put in situations that you don't want to be in.
You've
and-
already compromised. So he's like, just keep going.
Yeah, it makes it easier. And the longer you stay in it, like 2 years, you'll be like, oh, well, we've been here so long. But it's not going to work. So,
And when you settle for that long, you're just used to settling.
Yeah.
And then, like we talked about earlier, you've drifted so far, you don't even know who you are.
That's what I was going to say earlier, is I feel like the playful dating, or I don't even know if I'm using the right word that you were saying earlier, but dating casually or
yeah.
playful dating without a purpose, it desensitizes you to the value of people and to the value that dating is supposed to serve.
Yeah.
So then I feel like it just impacts your emotional and spiritual maturity as well.
It's just not good.
I mean, it doesn't help you. It hurts you. And,
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that you think it's not going to impact you. Your dating life, if you're dating for fun, is going to hurt you. And this is the
It
sucky
ain't gonna
part.
be fun when you got all them people rolling up to your house because you broke their heart. Okay, I mean, how fun that dating was then.
That happened to you?
No,
I was like,
I mean, if it did,
No.
I must have been taking a nap in my bed. And
yeah, but you're also destroying the witness. Like, if you call yourself a Christian and you're dating for fun, like, you're making Jesus look bad.
yeah,
You know, and like people are saying, "Oh, I don't want to be a Christian because I dated a Christian, and that guy, he took a lot from me." You know, that girl,
Dang.
she didn't do anything that Jesus was supposed to do. And I
Yeah.
just think like, I know people who like want to be in ministry, and they date that way, and I just like, bro, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You are ruining Jesus' name by dating that way, you know, and
Yeah.
treating people that way. And I just think, well, it's just not fun, and you're hurting people in the
process.
In the process. And so, yeah. All right. So we kind of hinted a little bit how can clear goals and intentions in your dating life without it feeling awkward or forced. We pretty much said that. It says, so why is it important to date with marriage in mind, and how can that help you figure out if someone really is the right fit for you? So how can dating with marriage in mind really help you figure out if the person is really the right fit for you? So dating with purpose and dating, understand that, hey, you want to get married. How can that help you figure out if that person, girl or guy, is good for you?
Well, when you have that DTR, that talk with them,
DTR.
you're going to learn real quick by the look they give you back or their response, if this is God honoring or not.
Yeah.
Can you say the question one more time?
Yeah. Why is it important to date with marriage in mind? And how can that help you figure out if someone's really the right fit for you?
Why is it important to date with marriage in mind? Immediately what pops in my head is we're image bearers. And so marriage should be whoever your spouse is. You know, if you're somebody that ends up in a marriage, and especially if you're a believer who ends up in marriage, you need to, is this the person that you're dating? Are they going to be someone that you bring before the Lord and say, God, this is who I want to advance your kingdom with? This is someone who I want to push back the darkness with. This is somebody who I want to raise disciples with. And this is also someone who I want to just run with everything we've got after, just chase after you with, Jesus. And also, is this somebody who's going to push me to be more like Christ?
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yeah, I
the
mean-
answer is no, then
They got to go.
What's the point of getting married then? Because
Yeah.
I think people forget that marriage is God is the one who created marriage. And only if he's the one who's created it, then only he's the one that can define what it truly is and what its purpose is.
Yeah.
And if you try to do marriage outside of what it was created to do, it's not going to thrive. It's going to blow up in your face, and it's
Yeah.
going to be real messy.
Yeah.
So,
No, I agree. I mean, marriage gives it the goal of dating, but it also allows you to have good things to go back on. So, like, if the person isn't, you know, for girls, if the guy's not husband material, now you know, like,
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't marry this guy. And for guys, if this girl's not wifey material, then you probably shouldn't marry her. I mean,
Yeah.
But it helps you understand that. And so, like, what are we talking about? Are they committed? Like, can be committed to you in a dating relationship? They probably can be committed to you in a marriage relationship.
Yeah.
Do they have self-control? You
Yeah.
know, or do they have peace? Do they have joy?
can the guy lead just from
Yeah.
a girl's perspective?
You know, yeah, no, those are
Do
good
they
things.
respect you?
Yeah. Well, they just give you a direction to run in.
Yeah.
And I think that when you put marriage at the forefront of your dating, like, hey, I'm dating because I want to get married, it also helps you not waste time. You know, like dating for fun is just, like we said earlier, it's just going to waste time. And so here are some practical ways to keep that marriage like in your mind when you date. And that would be, for me, I would tell them to understand that dating is for evaluation. Every second you get, you're evaluating the person. You're bringing them in front of people. You're asking hard questions. You're having the DTRs with them. And then also, like, you're putting them in situations where you would want to be in together. In other words, like, you'd be in church together. You'd be in group together. You'd be serving together. You're pretty much going just to see how this person's responding. Both sides, guy and girl. Like, you're doing this just to see. And I think after that, you're just evaluating, can I serve? Can I run with this person after Jesus? And I think that would help you just put yourself in the best relationship possible. And this will be hard to hear for somebody if you don't do that, you're going to be in a bad relationship.
Yeah.
And you're going to end up, you're going to end up marrying somebody you don't want to marry. And then 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road, you're going to be like, what did I do? And it's because you didn't evaluate properly. And you didn't actually ask for wise counsel. You didn't pray about it. Because that's another thing, man. You should pray about the person you're dating.
Yeah.
You know? So that would be my 2 cents. Anybody else before we end the episode?
Yeah, the only other question I would add in to what you were saying of just things to be mindful of and cognizant of when dating with a purpose is, does this person have the ability to help me grow in my walk? Not to say that you'd be dependent on them, but just the accountability of, does this person have opportunities that they may be really strong in their faith that I could grow in, or vice versa? Kind of like just a mutually beneficial pushing each other more towards Jesus kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think guys should be able to encourage the girl, and the girl should be able to encourage the guy.
Yeah.
Now, I think leading falls on the shoulders of the guys, and that's just been my thing,
Yeah.
and I can't apologize for that. I just think that's the way God built it. But I do think that we're supposed to both encourage each other. Now, if that's the only source that you're looking for this encouragement and for this discipleship, I think that's wrong. I think discipleship comes from other sources as well, like being in a biblical community, having a mentor, all those things. I think your spouse is somebody you run with, right?
Yeah.
And so that would be my 2 cents. Anything, Ansley, before we head out?
No, that was good.
All right.
I agree.
Hey, we hope that you date with purpose and move on from casual dating into actually dating with marriage in mind. Hey, we love you guys, and we're here for you, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.